And if my family's listening, tune into this part. I hope you don't all have to listen to the podcast, but you should be subscribing to the Patreon, each and every one of you. That's how you support me.
Ditto for my peoples too.
Welcome back to Muse on the Mic. I'm Riley.
And I'm Emily. Thanks again, guys, for joining us on another fascinating episode here at Muse on the Mic. So glad you're here. Make sure you like, subscribe, do all the things you're supposed to do. Social media in the caption below. Riley, lead us in. What are we doing today?
Wow, instead of me telling you what we're doing, I'm going to start with a question for you, Emily. How would you feel if your brother consumed and purchased all of your OnlyFans content? I asked this because we came across a video from Smosh where a brother does just that. This
is crazy. This is crazy. All I know is that it starts one way and ends up another in this story. We all got to watch it. I'm speechless on this one until we get to the other side of it because it's got twists and turns that you won't. Let's just go.
You gotta watch
it. I purchase all of my sister's OnlyFans content. Am I wrong?
What the hell? Okay, support local business.
You did the exact turn I did.
Okay.
The turn, I was like, no. Oh.
As the title says, I purchase all of my sister's OnlyFans content. A paltry $200 to $500 every 2-ish weeks. For obvious reasons, this is a throwaway. Now let me explain. I am extremely well off. I make in the upper end of the 6-figure bracket. My sister, however, has been struggling. She has a young child with another on the way. Her boyfriend tries to provide, but he just doesn't have the income to support them in a meaningful way. Now comes my sister's OnlyFans she started before the first child and was very vocal about it. I ignored it for the most part because I didn't care. When she found out she was pregnant the first time, I worried about both their financial situation and, frankly, my sister's more than a few crayons short of a Crayola pack.
She's got some colors missing.
I initially offered to help financially, but she has decided that she doesn't want help and can do it on her own. So I decided to enlist the help of a friend, so I don't have to view the content, to use my money to subscribe anonymously and purchase all of the content she produces, thereby providing support and a little extra help without her knowledge. Obviously, I will never reveal I am her largest supporter. I have never seen any of the content aside from a few face pictures to confirm it was her account. I do this solely to help her and to help support my nephew since she refuses all help I offer. Is this wrong? I don't know. Does it feel weird as Yes, it does. Do I regret it? Not even slightly.
So does he watch?
He said no. So what he does is he gives a friend money, and that friend is the subscriber.
Okay.
And I don't know if that friend watches.
This is a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That friend is like, yeah, I don't watch it.
I need to know. I need to know if the friend watches.
Well, I need to know, what's the content?
What is the content? Is it just
I'm assuming it's probably.
But it could be anything. Some people are on there. Some people are literally on there with their bare ass sitting on cakes.
Yeah.
It's creative stuff. There are people like that.
Him saying that he's like, I am not watching the content. I'm assuming it's. But
it could be anything.
It could be anything.
It's true.
That's why I want to know.
I know. Who knows? But I think ultimately, if all of this is true, I think this is a kind gesture. It's fine. It's sweet. And I get it. It makes her feel like, oh, well, I'm earning this money. And she is, but instead of just giving her the money and she feels guilty about it. This is through a way that.
This is really, really sweet.
It is.
He doesn't need to call her a few crayons short of a Crayola pack.
No, he didn't need to say that.
He did not need to say that at all.
No.
Because I'm confused.
Yeah.
And hurt.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some comments here. This is so wholesome, even though the post has a disturbing title. I am sure there are other ways to assist, like trusts and such. But for anonymous, instant, short term, why not? Take it to the grave, though. Someone else said, while your intention is good, do you know if she is making enough money from other users? You may be the only reason she is doing OnlyFans actively.
Oh, that could be true.
Someone else said, I have a feeling that had she known she couldn't do it on her own and had she turned to you for help, she could have had a more realistic approach to the situation with a higher chance of finding a more wholesome approach to tackling it. OP responded, unfortunately, she's one of those extremely stubborn people and will vehemently deny she isn't doing it on her own, even when everything points to the latter. Lastly, someone said, it is not weird. You found a way to support her without hurting her pride, although I think she is very short-sighted if she doesn't want your help. Kudos to you. If you want to help in other ways, try to frame it as helping her child as an uncle and not her. Give her coupons to kid stores. Tell her you'll pay for extracurricular activities, etc. Pay for preschool. I think there's some offers he could probably put out there of like, hey, like, this is my nephew, and I make... If he's saying he makes close to $1 million a year, he could be like, can I like set up a fund to pay for his college?
There is also
like do some things.
I will say there is a betrayal of trust here where she is allowed to say, I do not want your help. And he is actively saying, you don't get that choice anymore.
No, he's not saying that to her.
He absolutely is.
No, I think saying that to her face is one thing, but then silently supporting her.
Silently doing the thing that she doesn't want him to do?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But I don't know if it's as like black and white as that, because I feel like...
Oh, no, it's definitely gray.
But this is tough, because you're right. She doesn't want this.
She's actively saying, I do not want your help. I do not want your money.
Because she wants to make it on her own.
She wants another person's money.
Yeah, I honestly would feel bad lying to her for that long. But you're also supporting... Honestly, you know what I feel like he should do? He or she, this person should use their money and like I feel like use it and like buy property. And be like, hey, you can live here. This is an investment property.
I don't think she wants that.
He's just saying she's going to refuse all forms of help,
and that's okay. She doesn't have
right to do. So apparently from other comments, he has set up trusts. So there are other ways. It's short term that she's saying, no, I don't want your money. And it's also, I guess, from other comments, she may have other subscribers. I don't know how much money she's making per subscribers. I'm not really sure how the income works on OnlyFans. But I don't know. I don't think this is a situation where someone's a horrible person. Like,
no, for sure.
He's just so certain that she's so stubborn.
Yeah.
This is tough. And we've had stories kind of similar about people who are trying to get into Twitch streaming. And like being so determined. But, you know, the average, like the 99% of people on YouTube, Twitch, OnlyFans are people with like 0 subscribers who are just trying to break through. And it's really, really hard. Like, it's a lot harder than people realize.
Oh, that's so hard.
It's really tough.
There's also like this with my experience, when family offers money, I feel that they now have this power over me. I now owe them this. I have to do this because they helped me. And a lot of times, I don't want that. I don't want those strings attached to me.
But sometimes people don't feel those strings, and they still...
That's true.
But she's actively saying in her...
I don't want strings on me.
Like, I even think about, like, with me, like, I remember some of my earliest improv shows, there was no one in the audience. I didn't invite my family because I didn't want... My family was local, and I still felt like I was just like, I don't know, like... Support from your family, especially as a young artist, is crucial.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you need it, but it's also really hard because you don't want it sometimes. You want to make it on your own.
Yes.
And you don't, like, I really remember...
You have to have an empty improv show. You have to have an empty improv...
And then you really,
You learn from the empty improv show.
But, gosh. But then I remember, like, when I was little, and I, like, had a lemonade stand, and no one would come, and my mom, like, came and bought something. And I was like, well, and she was like, you still made lemonade and had a business today. And I was like, yeah, but you bought it. It was for other people.
Give me my allowance. I am so curious about this friend who was like, yeah, I'll do that.
Does he watch it?
Does he watch it?
I'm glad he's going through the friend, though, because...
Well, yeah.
For many reasons, I'm glad.
You find out your whole family is the one who subscribed. They're like, great job, honey.
Oh, my God.
You're like, oh.
Okay, well, now that we've taken all the initial, like, incestual vibes away from this video, because I'm sure you guys got the point, because that's where I went initially. I was like, this is disgusting. But it's not. I think he's a great brother in many ways. He may have overstepped, but I think his intentions were good.
You know, no good deed goes unpunished, right? So, like, best of intentions, but I mean, I'm so glad the band-aid of incest is ripped away because
Yeah.
Alabama, what? Right? Like it's just a little much. And yet, A for effort, because like I get it. I'm not a brother, but like I would assume a really engaged, concerned, involved brother, uncle, dad, like any figure like that would want to help someone who's struggling, would make that offer, extend that olive branch. And if the kid was being stubborn, yeah, you'd want to find a roundabout way to kind of make it happen. Reminds me of a Friends episode where Chandler's trying to give money to Joey when he's first moving out on his own. And Joey's like, no, I don't need your help. And then he's like, okay, let's play some cards, and purposely loses cards. So then he gives Joey all the money anyway. And Joey was just a stupid character. So he just didn't get it and didn't realize it. He just thought he scored at the game. And I think it was a made up game. It's just a way to give like $2,000 to Joey. And that worked for Joey. Joey was like, I'm good at this game. And off they went. Best of intentions, right? But as with all things sex work, there's always nuance that makes everything a giant but ...
Yeah.
Oh, no. Family, like, funny is funny. Funny wins. And I scare really easily. And my daughter scared me because I also smoke a lot of weed. And, thank you. And so my daughter scared me one time. She hid in the front yard. So they know that I come home high every now and then. And she was waiting in the front yard in a long, white, flowy gown and a scream mask. I walked into the yard and she was like, ah! And I jazz hand when I get scared. Ah! I make a loud, ah! And I jazz hand. There's like a million videos they have of me going like this. So fuck them. They get everything. They get everything. But I knew my son was getting ready to lose his mind, right? So I started to step up my game. And I did something to him that my brothers did to me that used to drive me crazy. They used to put Tabasco sauce on my fingertips when I was sleeping. Well, because the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning is what? You go pee. Anybody who's ever touched a jalapeno and then gone to the bathroom? Yeah, that's not fun, you know? So I put Tabasco sauce on his fingertips and I just wait. I wait 5 in the morning, I get up, I sit in the living room. And I hear him go to the bathroom and then he walks into the living room like this. And he goes, hey. I said, hey. And he goes, what does it mean?
Oh my God, boys.
What does it mean if your penis is on fire? So, well, it could mean a lot of things. Oh yeah, like what? Like what? Like what? Like what? I said, well, you could have a virus. Well, what do you do then if you have a virus? What do you do? I'm like, well, they take a needle. You stick it in the base of your penis. What, a penis shot? I don't want one of those. What else? What is there any other option? I go, well, yeah. I said, you could have like a bacterial infection. Oh, okay. What is that? What does that mean? I go, how do they fix that? I go, well, they take a needle. And they stick it in the base of your, oh, another penis shot? Well, I don't want it. Well, is there any option besides penis shot? I don't. I go, well, there's the third one, but it's so rare, like, it never happens. He's like, what is it? I'm like, it just doesn't happen. He goes, what is it? Is it a penis shot? I go, no. He goes, tell me what it is. I go, okay. I go, it's possible, but it never happens, but it's possible. It's somebody snuck into your room and put Tabasco sauce on your fingertips when you're sleeping. And he was like, I'm going to fight you so hard. I'm like, don't say that. Don't say that. Now look, we're buddies. We really are buddies. And he tells me
Oh,
everything.
God.
He told me. And some things I want to hear and some things I don't. Some things are just too much. Like he came home excited one night and he was like, hey, I got to ask you a couple questions. That might make you a little uncomfortable. And I was like, did you not want to ask a friend? And he was like, no, Dad, you, because, I don't want to ask him, I get embarrassed. I'm like, okay. He goes, okay. So, I'm going out with Ashley on Friday, and we're going to be alone together. We're going to be doing some things I've never done before. So I just got a couple questions. He goes, we're going to be kissing, and my eyes are going to be shut, right? I go, yes. Don't be creepy, open-eyed kissy guy. That's the worst. You know when you're kissing somebody and you crack your eye like this, and they're like this? And you're like, well, fuck, tonight's the night I die, I guess. I don't know why you'd be staring at me from an eighth of an inch away, you psycho. Okay.
You're craving something a little extra, aren't you? Subscribe to our Patreon and enjoy the ride.
Well, I mean, I think to start, at least my thoughts, is pride is a bitch. And you and I both know this very well. So I understand her pride and she does not want to accept. So he feels he can find a way by supporting her work. But when it comes to sex work, which is I think where you were leading, taking away that component of consent is a little bit just
icky.
Yeah, it's icky. There's the right word I was looking for. She specifically said, no, I do not want your help. And he found a way. So it is in this uncomfortable kind of, and this is not black and white, 100%. We are in the gray zone here. So it's in the gray zone.
That's where we live. That's our sweet spot. It's the gray zone. Because look, it would be less gray if it was, okay, let me buy a case of chocolate almonds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just a different thing. You can support, especially sibling, in many ways. That doesn't eliminate their sexual consent. Like, it sounds so weird to talk about it in the context of siblings, but like this is the story we're given in this little video clip, right? So like digging into it, digesting it, you have to take away the icky piece. And really, if I wanted to give my brother money to help him out and he's selling chocolate almonds to support his hockey team, buying a case would be supportive without saying, here, just take $500 and do what you need with it. And if their ego is that stubborn, I doubt they'd say, no, don't buy any almonds. But almonds are not the same as OnlyFans, and therein lies the gray area of sex work, right? It's just different. There's something, if it was a different service or a different product, is just not the same. And sex work always has this asterisk beside it because it's always a yeah, but it's just always the difference. There's always a difference with it. You can't slice it any other way. It's just that asterisk is real. The ick is real. The nuance is huge. And I think it matters. And so on that note, I guess I'm going to reverse the question on you and been like, not necessarily like of us, because I think there's many stories of us, but in general, we've known workers who have had family that were aware of what they do. Is there anything that comes to mind of a way a family member could support a sex worker without it having the needed clarification context, like eliminator of, no, this isn't incestuous, I'm just proud of my daughter?
Two come to mind, actually. You're going to help me here because if you don't all know, I have a bad memory. Who did we interview? Annie Temple. No, I'm sorry. This was the Dearest Mummy episode where we were reacting to a video of a stripper. And she said her parents were worried for her. And she said, if you're worried for me, then break the stigma and speak highly of sex workers and the industry. So I think that's one thing family can do is the way they speak about their family member or the industry. But directly to us, I'll say this, and if my family's listening, tune into this part. I hope you don't all have to listen to the podcast, but you should be subscribing to the Patreon, each and every one of you. That's how you support me.
Ditto for my peoples too. You know me and you claim to like me. You had better.
Yep.
It's true, but those are simple ways. And you're right. They don't have to take in the content, but it's just to show support. Listen, when we first opened our parlor and we decided to get a booth at the sex trade show here in Toronto, my parents came to the trade show. It doesn't mean they go to the parlor, which they never have. But they came to the show to show support.
Yes.
They were like, "Hi, Emily. Hi, Riley. We're here. We're so proud of you." And that was the first time I ever heard them call my work name, and I wanted to vomit
Right.
and die. But I can't knock them for the support. They went on their way and shopped all the little booths and let their little fucker energy out and bought all kinds of toys I don't even need to know about because I saw them leaving with like fistfuls of bags.
Right.
And that's them in a nutshell. But the fact that they came out to support was huge. That was awesome. The fact that my dad gave a shit enough about the ins and outs of like the business model to help like think up the mixer, the thing that triggered the mixer, that's support to me.
Mhm.
Tell your an associate, a business coworker, a somebody, oh my daughter owns this place. You should take your buddies after the golf game. Referrals are great ways to support. You know what I mean? Sharing a link doesn't mean dad has to share a link to his daughter's OnlyFans,
Mhm.
but little things like that, like subscribe, follow, they're free and you could do them very, very easily to help show support as long as it doesn't take away consent.
True.
Because as soon as you step into that turf, it gets so icky and so dicey. And so I would say if the worker is aware that you know that they're working, then just go right to them and ask, how can I best support you? I think that's
Yeah.
the easiest, simplest question. If they don't know, then you're just going to have to take a little bit of extra time to second think before you may click subscribe, just so you know that it's something that they wouldn't feel violated if they knew that you did it. Because I
Mhm.
think there lies the like deciding factor there. If they would be upset, I told you not to do it, or I never told you about this, and this is my private life. And if that's the backlash you're going to get, it's probably not the right move. It's
Mhm.
probably not the right move. Get them gift certificates for their birthday that you know they will spend on work clothes or like little things, gas cards, get them to and from their job. Like you can be more generic and I think a little simpler and still help and support people without having to remove their sexual consent.
Mhm.
It's so
I'm dying
weird.
to know how this story ends up. Like, does she never find out? Because they gave a lot of good advice. Like, he could support her or his nephew in a lot of really interesting and constructive ways without
Yes.
that piece. And I think the other piece that they touched on a little bit was I believe she was doing OnlyFans, like most of us that get into sex work, because they need money. It's a point of desperation. That did it, was it kind of disillusioning to her to think, oh, I've got all this money coming in. I should keep doing this, where maybe she would
Mm.
have chose a different path otherwise. Like there's just so many aspects when you're dealing with this gray area, right?
It's true, especially when someone's starting off. I remember how excited we were for our first few subscribers, our first few patrons on Patreon, and it's thrilling. It's still thrilling. We had 2 new subscribers this morning, and I was like, "Yay! I love a good morning. Like that's awesome, right?" And it's fun and it's cute. I know like streamers that have like started up, and it turns out it was their best bud or like their mom that was the first subscriber under like made a separate handle just so she could support like his dreams. But you're right. Don't make 1,000 so he thinks he's on to something. If he's
Right.
really bad at streaming or can't play Fortnite for his life, depending on it, well then we don't need to encourage something that's
Mhm.
failing. That said, it's not for the parent to decide if they fail or succeed. And something like streaming doesn't come success overnight. So there's again nuance, but I appreciate and understand that effort, right? Like in other things, you go watch your kids' games and you want to tell everybody, post the things on the Facebook to share with the friends and the family and get the neighborhood involved in the charity and like all the things. But once it comes to sex work, it's just so particular between the privacy, the consent, the ick factor for sure. And you're right, there's vanilla ways you could support. I love that one of the suggestions I think was to support like his extracurriculars. Pay
Right.
for his hockey equipment or his like,
And
football,
that's
whatever, or his
huge. That would
lessons. And
be such a relief.
do stuff like that. Buy them too much shit at Christmas, and when the parents are like, "You shouldn't spoil them," you're like, "It's one day." Like you
Right.
can get away. Like grandparents are notorious, right, for getting away with the bullshit with the spoiling. You can find ways to do it that don't disrupt everybody's life or like the
Mhm.
balance of things and humbleness and the value of a dollar and all the lessons you want, especially a young person to learn or a new business owner. Listen. New business owners are like babies. We're shaky
Mhm.
little deers on wobbly little legs, and we got to figure out our path on our own. Ours was very wobbly for a time. But had someone come in to try and save the day, we wouldn't have learned the lessons we did. I don't think we'd be as good a business owner as we are now. And yet, I expect every person I know to be subscribed to the goddamn Patreon, just like Riley said earlier. So, chop chop. I mean, because
Well, and
it's
I
true.
think to support any sex worker, the biggest thing you can do is help destigmatize the industry. And part of doing that, I'll tell you something on my personal Instagram, so many times people I know will talk about shopping local or support local business, and they shout out certain companies or will put up their logos. And I'm always like,
Hello. Yeah.
Muse, I don't get to post. No one's going to post about it. Why? Why won't you post? I'm a local business and I am a friend or family member. Support me. That is how you can show me support and subscribe to the page.
Listen, there's a whole trend in our country right now. Buy Canadian, shop Canadian.
Yes.
Hello. Female business owner. Hello. Small business, entrepreneur, blah, blah, blah. Hello. Like there's a million reasons. And the only one against it is the stigma. So smash that stigma and be cautious of how you vote.
Yep.
You got more power there than anywhere else. There's an election this week. So step up, people.
Well, and as always, thanks to Smosh, because they always have these really intriguing videos. And this one, definitely, I was like, but it was really good, interesting topic.
I agree. I love the dynamics of all the different personalities that kind of come in with the commentary because they're all so unique. They're all funky characters. Like each of them are really funky people. And so they come with some really insightful thoughts sometimes where I'm like, I hadn't even considered that perspective. And to be honest, I was so caught up on the brother buying the sister stuff that consent didn't even hit my mind for way too long, especially considering how prevalent consent is in our world every day.
Yeah.
It should have been the first thing on my mind. It was the last thing on my mind. And as soon as they said it, I was like, of course. Oh my God, that's terrible. And then I completely flipped sides. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, no, he can't do this. This is terrible.
I agree.
Oh, goodness gracious. Family's complicated, man. The family
Pride is
money.
complicated.
Yep. It's all fucking dicey. I love it. Well, I hope you guys found this interesting. Drop below in the comments if you've had any kind of weird, similar situations. Listen, technically, everybody knows a sex worker. Yes. It may not be that you know they're a sex worker. They might not know you know, but everybody knows a sex worker. So I'm so curious because guaranteed somebody's found out and was like, I found out in high school, like my college aged cousin was a stripper or something. Like, I'd love to know if you've ever had those conversations. How can I best support you? Or I made sure my best buddy's bachelor party was at such and such club, or some indirect way you tried to like support, because there's good stories out there. We love the good nuggets.
And support us by hitting that subscribe button.
Hey, there you go. You heard the woman. Do what she says. Subscribe to the Patreon. Links in that description. All the juicy episodes go over there. So it is worth the price of admission. 2.5 seasons to binge on as well. We're rocking and rolling. I love it. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.